So on the 18th of October, Black Nova are celebrating their 10th anniversary as a company. Not only is that a fantastic achievement, but they're doing something very special with it. They're supporting a charity with an event that they're doing to celebrate called Best Mates. And I don't think that enough has been understood about just the magnitude of this. And I have invited the guys in to my studio here at Visual PR. My name is Chris Dawes, the founder of Visual PR, to talk to them about it, to bring it to life. I warn you now, this is going to be raw, but that's why this charity is incredibly special to so many people and will be to even more when they're aware of it. Delighted to welcome in Jeff Tucker from Best Mates.
Hello.
And Carl Holmes from Black Nova. Greetings, guys. 18th of October, National Self-Build and Renovation Centre. Tickets from £75. Go to blacknovadesigns.co.uk, and it's all raising money for Best Mates, Jeff. I mean, speak to me. What's Best Mates?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
You must love that. I mean, I know you're friends with these guys, but...
Well, I'm friends with these guys because I met these guys at a networking event and talking about Best Mates and how it resonates between what's going on. So Best Mates, in a nutshell, we're a welfare charity, and we help anybody that really is going through life struggles, tough times. It could be grief, could be depression, gambling, it can be addiction, whatever it might be. But when you're a person that is facing those times and you just don't know what to do, don't know where to reach out, we're surrounded by services and people that can help us. But when your head's in a space that you're finding it quite stressful and you don't know where to turn, that's where we come in, because we hook you up. So the concept of Best Mates is we hook you up with a mate, and that is a person that's got lived experiences of what you're facing. And when you have a conversation with somebody that really gets it, really understands those feelings.
Empathy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is such a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's just the start of the journey. But it's that first part of somebody that can guide and support you to get you to a better place. It might be one step. It might be a full counselling series, whatever it might be. But we will take you and we will start to help you change and change your life.
We know that the health service is struggling to get to people quick enough as well.
Yeah,
so it's like not only help them get to there, but sort of fill that gap a little bit, maybe.
It does. It's serving a purpose.
Yeah.
You go to your GPs, and you're on a waiting list and you don't get the help quick enough, All right. Yeah. We're a charity and we're raising funds to be able to provide that. But actually it's needed.
It is.
It is absolutely needed,
More than we realise, because us fellas keep it quiet.
Do you know what? The needle always points to men's mental health. And lots of people we help are in that world. We are welfare, so we are for everyone. But it does,
and I want to make that clear. It is, isn't it?
But it's just that thing. Men and mental health is such a big thing these days.
Yeah.
I think it overrides a lot more than everything else which is going on. But it's as important. So it's all in there as the services that are provided to change people's lives and really make a difference to them.
Where did this come from for you?
So the concept for Best Mates came from back in 2020. My son, 16-year-old son, was attacked by 6 lads, set upon, ambushed and beaten up as he came out the end of an alley going to see a friend. That was an extremely difficult time, because you've got a 16-year-old lad. They attempted to stab him. He had marks over his body they used an old style potato peeler. Luckily, they didn't puncture the skin, and he was literally left absolutely battered. But that left him in a state of PTSD, depression, and me and his mum found a note in one of his pads that he wanted to take his own life. So I remember being stood at my patio doors, being dad. Come on, get up, go to work, saying all the wrong things, doing all the wrong things, creating issues out of simple conversations because I just wasn't getting the response and I just didn't know what to do.
That's key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to do. I thought, Anyway, I stood there at my patio doors one day, just absolutely bawling my eyes out, just me at home, looking out at just lost. Didn't know.
What do I do?
What do I do?
Yeah.
You know, I know there's services. I know there's people. Went to the doctors. They might as well just shut the shutter on us. He was 16 years old, couldn't do anything for him. He was too young. Yeah. I'm like, what? You know? So a little time passed over that. I actually met with a counsellor, which I met in a networking group, and he gave me a little bit of advice, and he changed my thinking to what I was doing. And overnight, I saw the changes. Didn't fix it, but I saw the changes and I saw that shift.
Yeah.
And that made such a difference to the way we carried on then with working with Kyle to help our situation. And I'm like, hang on a minute. The world needs this.
Yeah.
Carl, who's my partner in Best Mates, he went through depression. He suffered. You know, I've watched him go through hell and, you know, I've picked him up and helped him through it. And it wasn't until he actually ran the London Marathon, and he did that for his own mental health. And after he completed that, we were sat down in a bar, having a few beers, having a curry, chit, chat. And I said, listen, I got this idea. And we carried on drinking beer and we carried on eating curry and we carried on talking about these concepts.
Yeah.
And it was delivered. And we're like, let's do it. So 20 months ago, November 23, we went live with it, and
Fabulous.
We're on it and we're helping.
Why is it so important that people like Black Nova are raising money?
Majorly important. So we need these people. We need people to support what we're doing because it's costly. You know, having to put people through counselling and therapy, whatever that might be, you know, it costs a lot of money, and we're self-funded to date. We've got funds which we're applying for now. We've got our data, and we're really starting to push that forward now. But we need people behind us. We need people to consistently give us that cash injection to be able to easily reach out and help people.
Yeah.
We tend to provide, I mean, £500 for argument's sake, we'll provide 10 counselling sessions.
Wow.
And we've got that tied up with our service providers. But the deal there is we take you, we put you into those counselling sessions. By the time you've had 10 sessions, we should have then given you the tools to be able to then lead off and hopefully take control. I mean, it's obviously individual casing, but
I've heard the phrase, become your own counsellor.
In a way.
You learn how
give
to
you the
do
tools
that.
to be able to manage those thought
absolutely.
process and those things. And before you get to that breakdown, that part,
absolutely.
you know how to recognise, do, or, you know, shift yourself to avoid it or lessen it. And that's kind of the approach. But the main aim is literally to have somebody reach out. We get you talking to that mate, that person that understands you. And trust me, that's happened and they don't need any more help than that. Such a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
But then those extra services are there. So we need people behind us. We need these guys doing this. It's just fantastic.
And again, I emphasise blacknovadesigns.co.uk. Get a ticket booked, whether it's one, whether it's multiple, whether it's a table. You can have sponsored tables, all sorts. It is a good night. It is is it a black tie event?
Dress to impress.
Dress to impress. I like it. And it is a party. It very much is a party. But there's so much good being done, raising the money, and that is at the choice of Black Nova, run by Carl and your lovely wife Danielle. But Carl, this is very personal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very personal. It's very raw. The reason why Black Nova is looking at this is because I went through very difficult times throughout my life. And one of the things that I wish I had was somebody beside me that was in the right mindset or the right person to be beside me to guide me through. A little bit about me, I tried to take my life several times. A lot of it was due to the simple fact is I grew up being told I was a naughty child. I was a child that wasn't the correct way. And a lot of the time I took stuff, sorry guys, I took things to heart and I thought, I'm full of demons. I'm full of demons. Maybe I am a naughty person. Maybe I am the wrong person. But they keep speaking in my voice. They're in my head. They're there. They're talking to me. Oh, I should do this. I should go do something naughty. I should do this. I was misunderstood. And what I didn't understand back then was the simple fact is, if I had somebody that did understand it, I probably would have healed a lot faster. The problem was these voices were getting bigger and bigger. And you know the best way to get rid of them? It's not the best way. But in my head was, if I kill myself, they can't attack me anymore. They can't get to me. And if they can't get to me, I'm free.
Free, yeah.
Doesn't show you that doesn't show any courage. A lot of the attempts were attention seeking, I will say that, because the simple fact is I was crying out for help. And a lot of the time, those cries for help were because the people that I loved the most wasn't recognizing it, and they didn't want to apply what I would have believed was love to try and help me through those difficult times. They turned around to it and said, "You're just an annoying child, you'll get through it, you'll be fine, get on with it." There were several occasions where things have happened, traumatized me and stuff like that. And the first thing I got pretty much was, unfortunately this falls under the mental health category, or the, just man up, you'll be right, get on with it.
Yeah.
I went through school and was severely bullied multiple times and very racistly attacked through the fact I was in a politest term, in a white area with a coloured skin, and I was the one that stood out. So I got racially abused. I had a person of power abuse me for several years, not in a category, but just calling me names and stuff like that. And the problem was, at the end of that, nobody believed me, because they said, "Oh, you're the naughty child. It's probably brought on by yourself. You are the problem." And then you go back down this demon hole, and the problem is you get more, and you get one, and there's two, then it's three, and then it's four, and you wake up in the morning and they rise with you. And when you wake up in that morning, you go, "You know what? I'm done with this shit." Yeah. And I apologize for anybody that's swearing, but I'm, what's the point? What's the point of carrying on if they're going to just keep attacking you and you can't get away from it? And then everybody makes you believe. And I mean, for the last 23 years, I fought every demon that's woken up in my morning and attacked them back. Somebody, part of my family, very close to me, pushed me out a few years back. And it's quite raw, this is the reason why. They got back in contact, and I'd built my armor, but because they'd pushed me out, I knew I didn't need to use my armor. So I left my armor very, very well strengthened, and I hadn't ever tested it, so I didn't know how strong I was. A couple of weeks ago, I got hit with a battering ram, basically, and for the first time, I stood up, and I stood my boundaries, and I took on everything. Don't get me wrong, it's chinked my armor, but this time I'm proud to say I've stood up. But the one thing that helps me with best mates is, if I had had that earlier on, I could have probably got rid of a lot of this before it even happened. You shouldn't have to live in a world where you have to protect yourself from people that are extremely close to you. It can be extremely close to you, or even just, you should be okay to feel emotions, or at least walk through life feeling okay. You can have down days, but I never had a circle that people like best mates can provide that could actually walk up to you and say, "Hey mate, let's go for a walk." Doesn't have to be anything. It's just, can we go for a walk?
The way that those voices can be quite very different then, isn't it? And that's the point. And these people, you know, just to make sure that people go, "Oh no, I don't get that." There can be a naivety or a misunderstanding for those people around you as well. Not that you did that, but you as your dad with your son, you're there going, "I don't know what to do." You were trying to go, come on, lad, you're all right. Yeah. And it's like, no, that was not the way to go. And you learnt that, and you want to make sure not only that Best Mates is there to support you, but there is I would almost say an education.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Look, you when you're going through these things, you know, what Kyle's been through there, it's raw, right? When you're going through that and you're making the decisions to steer yourself through it, you're doing it.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you don't know. So when somebody comes in that's been through it, and they do know what they know, and they've learned things, they can go, just one little sentence, right?
Yep.
Changes your mindset.
Yeah. And listening. Have you found that as well? Sometimes you don't need that magic words from them.
No.
You just need to hear yourself saying it.
And a classic example was a friend of mine literally the other day. I told him what had happened. He said, "I'm on my way."
Yes.
Back when I was, throughout the 21st 3 years of my life, I didn't have that. I didn't have a friend to turn to. And that's like the great thing that Jeff's team is doing, is that they are providing just that voice or that listen. And when you got to listen to your own voice, It's not the best voice to listen to because it will drag you down if it wants to. Yeah. And the problem is, I was very, very fortunate. And I mean, to be as raw as it is, it came later on in life. And I mean, that's my childhood to later on in life. I only a few years back had an accusation that pushed me over the edge. And my wife, Danielle, walked into the room and she found me there with a bottle of wine in my hand. And I just dropped a load of pills. So I was passed out on the kitchen floor. So they don't disappear. And that's the hard thing. But Jeff's team, having somebody beside you and having somebody that's able to say, okay, you will have bad times.
You reach for that, not that.
Exactly. And the simple fact is, if I had learned the aspects of how to self-care, or like you say, be your own therapist before it gets too far, that's astronomically good. And the work they're doing is saving a life every single time.
It is. I can't thank you enough. And listen, Carl, and I think, Jeff, you'll agree with this. We could sit here talking to you about this forever, but the honesty is that you've brought it to life, and thank you for being so honest and open. And not appropriate, but I feel like I should say thank you to Best Mates for helping a mate out, you know, and you know, it means a lot.
We set this charity up to do exactly that.
Yeah.
You know, people do reach out and thank us. I don't want thanks. We don't want thanks for it. We just want people to get better. We just want to be able to hold those hands. We want to make that difference. And, you know, the thanks we get is from watching people change their lives, just getting better, smiling, dealing with. That's the thanks we want, and that's all we've set it up to do. So it's, you know,
and like you said, this is just an example of a story that is meant. That's why you guys are supporting it. It can be all sorts. It could be a divorce. It could be a death. It could be gambling. It could be business. It could be people are surprised when I admitted that I suffer from generalized anxiety disorder, considering I commentate in front of 30 to 50,000 people, but I suffer with that. And it actually helped me make sense of a lot of things when there was suddenly like, oh yeah, that's why.
That's what it is.
And I'm like,
you can go and do a bit of research and ask some questions.
And exactly. And that was the point that I understood from the Best Mates and said the education thing and all of that. So, but it could be anxiety. It could be depression. It could be a whole host of things. It isn't weak to talk. I know people say it, but Jesus, it's true.
And I think that's where a lot of it's missed, and people don't know where to turn, because obviously back then I didn't know where to turn. Whereas raising this sort of money for charities so they can get out, even if it's just, I mean, a lot of the money goes towards therapy and stuff like that. But even I look at it as we should be also supporting the marketing, getting them out there, because if you can just save one more life, that is better than anything. Absolutely. I was very lucky as a person to save my own life. However, if I wasn't strong enough back then, I would have been another number on the statistics.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite easily.
Very much so, as I think is very apparent. So several things I want to say on this one is, any challenges in your own life, please reach out to Best Mates. How can they get hold of Best Mates? We've
made it quite simple, really. So Facebook, Instagram, we're all over that. So Best Mates, you can go and follow us on there. Or you can go through to the website, which is www.bestmates.org. And it's quite simple. The coldest part about this is filling in a form.
Yeah.
I need a mate. You fill that form in.
Just do it.
Just trust me, once you've got through that part, we'll have you talking to a mate very quickly. You're on that path to help, and things will start to happen.
Exactly.
So yeah, please do reach out.
And clearly, Carl, you can't emphasize enough. Please, people, come along to this. It's not, I know it's sort of wrapped into this celebrate your 10-year anniversary. Can I be completely candid for a minute? I saw you advertise that and went, why do I want to go and spend £75 to celebrate your 10th anniversary? I'm being honest. And I didn't mean that in a negative way. No. I'm admitting that first thought. And in marketing, we're always thinking, what's the initial reaction you get? Now, you guys are mates, and so it would get there anyway, although it wasn't when in the original date. I got to look at your new date. But, it's not about that. This is like going, look, we could do anything. We could go and get drunk. We could go and eat lots. We could go and do activities. But it's like, yes, it's going to be a party wrapped nicely around raising money for Best Mates.
If I can raise just a little bit just to save another person's life, that is pretty much the best thing I could possibly think of doing. And the best thing is I get to do it with a great team and a great charity beside me.
No, you're going to be so proud at the end of that, mate, because I think you know,
I was emotional today.
Get there, people,
but the thing is,
it can do well.
And that will be, you know, through what you're trying to achieve for us. You know, I live my life now with this best mates thing going on in the background in my life. I wake up in the morning, I know there are people out there in a better place because of what I went through, because of what my son went through. You know, he went through that absolutely diabolically bad time.
Which the final comment I want to make, because I'm conscious of the time, is that there's the cyclical element of this, is that there are many people that go through it that then become a best mate.
Indeed.
Once they're strong enough, for example, hence, like, for example, you
Hands up, Hal.
that ain't you just yet. But the point being that some, you know, for other people, that once they go through that circle, because you need that empathy. So I also want to express that to people as well. There's a lot that people can come and speak
That's
to.
where the magic starts to happen.
Absolutely.
With that empathy conversation.
There's a lot of conversations, but the big one for this one is that I hope it's brought it to life. Somehow, Jeff, we managed to keep it together there. You did amazing, mate. You really did. But I thought we were going to crack as well, and I was on the edge because it's real. This is real.
Yes, indeed.
And I wanted to bring this story to life, and I hope it makes sense. Get yourself to blacknovadesigns.co.uk. Let's see if we can help a few more best mates. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.